Well, Kings put some coal in the Rockets' stockings tonight as they pick up their 7th win of the season and did it in come-from-behind fashion, to say the least. 125-124, the final in overtime. In overtime, the key word, 48 minutes just hasn't been enough on this road trip, as the Rockets playing 3 overtime games on this road trip alone, just like they started the season in Oklahoma City with a loss, losing in Denver and then New Orleans, and tonight a 125-124 loss in overtime to the Sacramento Kings. One that you're going to scratch your head and think back about this one whenever you may not want that seed ahead of you, and you go, man, we let one get away on a night like this tonight. Alongside the Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Appreciate you staying up so late with us tonight here on Space City Home Network. And needless to say, a disappointing effort here tonight. Up 14 in the fourth quarter and get beat.
This has got to stop. This has absolutely got to stop. I don't know how or when, but they played too well except for the middle of the fourth quarter and couldn't come up with a victory against a team like the Kings.
Yeah, they've lost.
Now, this has got to stop.
They've lost to a 5-win team and a 6-win team.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Going down the stretch, some unfortunate plays were made by the Rockets that were trying to be bailed out instead of making the play precise and put it in the hands of the right person. There were a couple of plays that cost them the game, begging for a situation instead of creating it for yourself.
Yeah, and you talk about, let's show them what we're talking about on Calvin's Court, presented by Memorial Hermann Rockets Orthopedics. And the Rockets had a 5-point lead with 45 seconds left in regulation. And it was turnovers down the stretch, missed shots, turnovers, you name it.
And you just brought up a good point. We only had 4 turnovers at halftime. And what did we end up with?
Too many?
Far too many. Far too many. And every time we had a turnover, they capitalized on it by scoring.
Yep. A dozen turnovers in the second half.
Now, this is just unexcusable. The Rockets are too good, have too much talent to lose to teams that only have 5 wins and are not that good of the unit.
Yeah, and this is the play right here. Alperen Sengun faking the 3, thought he got fouled. You're not going to call that foul in that situation right there.
Well, let me tell you something. A couple of games ago, I made the statement that the referees need to let the players decide the game, and that's what they did tonight.
Take me through this one right here. You can't come off.
First of all, they were down 2 points. Ryan said something that was so true. They're down 2 points. They're up 2 points. You got to stay at home. The guy penetrates. If he scores, you still get the ball back. You got the last shot of the game. But coming down to try to help in that situation and leave somebody wide open for a 3, that's just poor defensive concept.
Yeah, it was Tari that came off of Dennis Schroder, and Dennis Schroder turned this game upside down in the fourth quarter. Well, it started with his pressure in the backcourt, caused turnovers, and he caused the Rockets to get out of the offense that they were trying to run.
Not only that, when Schroder came in, he made Westbrook a better player.
Yeah, and this is the last-ditch effort. Tried to get the 2 to go. KD couldn't get it to go down because the Rockets had one more chance, and that is how it ends in disappointing fashion tonight in Sacramento. Is the Rockets let one get away in big way.
You got to know situations. Talk about that last play where DeRozan drove to the basket and Tari came over to support. Well, 9 out of 10 times during the game, you want weak side to come in to help. But you got to know what the score is. They're only up 2. If they score, it's a tie game, and you get the last shot.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, 100%. And didn't work out that way tonight for the Rockets as they get outscored 13-12 in overtime and lose 125-124. Let's hear from head coach Ime Udoka.
Can you talk through a little bit about what allowed that open look on the final shot for Schroder?
Yeah, we put a small lineup in to guard one-on-one, knowing DeRozan's going to get isolation and 2-point game. We want to stay locked in on guys, and he drove baseline under the basket, and I think it was Tari left Schroder in the corner. We're supposed to stay locked up one-on-one.
And what kind of just went wrong in that fourth quarter to allow them to come back and ultimately send it?
It wasn't just the fourth quarter; it was the entire game. Our approach wasn't right. We had a game yesterday that we were much more felt like motivated for, or whatever, and just to let them hang around the way they did was a lot due to us. Got 19 offensive rebounds, multiple unforced turnovers, and missed assignments, and so that's what happens in the game. We didn't really deserve to win that. They being down 8, 10, whatever, when it should be a 15 to 20 point game. It's on us. I got to do a better job of getting them motivated in games against lesser opponents.
I was going to, just as much as you're willing to share, what was your message to the team in the locker room after the game? They seemed obviously disappointed and frustrated as well.
Yeah, that we didn't deserve to win. You play around with the game and play around with the team, and usually it comes back to bite you. And, like I said, even the late turnovers and the open shots that they got were just mistakes coverage-wise. And so, that was a message. We didn't deserve to win, and play around with the game. It comes back and gets you.
Well, what did you see, as far as, what Schroder and DeMar was doing, in that those last periods going into overtime, because they were the ones that they were working the ball to?
Yeah, they're being aggressive. They're trying to get to DeMar to his spots in the post-up, and Schroder was just, a lot of times we were out of position, got rejected on pick and rolls, and our help wasn't there, just over and over and over. And, like I said, more mistakes schematically than anything.
Third overtime loss this week. Just where do you feel the team is struggling to kind of convert and close out games?
Way before overtime. It's whatever allows us to even get to overtime. So there's been a few fouls in late games in New Orleans and Denver game, and then tonight, like I said, just messing around with the game. The first 3 quarters to even have it in that position.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
The Rockets were up 14 in the fourth quarter. They were up 5 with 45 seconds left in regulation. They lose it overtime, 125 to 124. We got more to come here. It's the postgame. It's presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. 41 minutes tonight for Alperen Sengun, who was having his way, particularly in that first half, getting to the basket, doing what he wanted to, whenever he wanted to do it. Finishes tonight with 28 points on 12 of 17 shooting.
Played a very nice game for the most part. We got to stop towards the end of the game making mistakes that take away from the game that you're having, if that makes any sense there.
Yeah, the number stands out to me, Merk, is the 6 rebounds tonight, because like Craig just talked about just a minute ago, this is a Kings team that is a bad rebounding team.
No, they're the worst team in the NBA.
And they out-rebounded the Rockets tonight.
19 offensive rebounds means they're being out-hustled. Is what that's all about. 19 offensive rebounds. I don't know how many second chance points they got from it, but we didn't meet them, at their game. They have to be a team that hustles around and gets second chance shots and things of that nature to beat teams. Because, to be honest with you, they're not that talented.
Well, they play hard.
They play extremely hard, and they have some good players. DeRozan, Westbrook. These guys individually are good, but as a unit, there's no way the Rockets should have lost this game.
Keegan Murray went for 26 tonight for the Sacramento Kings. They did what they needed to do down the stretch. 30-21 was the scoring in the fourth quarter as Kings, again, down 5 with 45 seconds left in the game, down 14 in the fourth quarter. Tie it, send it to overtime, and win it 125 to 124. Kevin Durant and what he did tonight. KD, quiet first half and a quiet 24 and 10 tonight. He was flirting with a triple-double. He was a couple of helpers away from that triple-double tonight.
The thing when you start looking at Kevin Durant's game, not just tonight but any night, I'm from old school thought. Give him the ball and get out the way. Set up the plays, and this is what the great players always did in the past. When you're looking at Kobe and Jordan and players like this, it's not being selfish, it's just playing percentage basketball.
Yep.
He had a great game, but I want to see him control the ball a little more down within, 4 minutes of the regulation and the overtime.
played 47 minutes tonight on the second half of a back-to-back for Kevin Durant tonight. Let's head to the Rockets locker room and hear from KD.
Kevin, just from your perspective, what allowed the Kings to storm back and win this game in overtime?
Yeah, 44 points in the second half. Like, we didn't generate good offense, I don't think. And then they just pressured us, sped us up, trapped us, made us turn ball. Like, we just didn't play up to our standard second half.
It's the third overtime loss this week. Just kind of where do you feel like the team is struggling kind of in those end-of-game scenarios?
I just feel like when teams throw a gimmick, when they're trying to run a trap at half court, we just missing shots. I think we're getting good looks. But a team's so confident to do that and still trust that they'll get stops. Just got to make shots, knock them down. But I like what we generated out of that fourth. We got some good looks. We just couldn't hit them.
Kevin, you never want to say, have any excuses, about back-to-back games. They played back last night as well, too. How do you think y'all was feeling, in those that fourth?
Just we were playing good ball up until it was up 100-86, and then just imploded, Just gave them whatever they wanted after that. Went on the 12-0 run, and that was the game.
Kind of said something similar in New Orleans where you guys were too relaxed. Do you think that was the case tonight as well?
Yeah, I mean, when we get up 14, we gotta put our foot on the gas. We can't walk the ball up court, or do anything on the offensive end, not guard on the defensive end. We gotta dominate when we get up 14. Yeah, I felt like we were saying that the whole night. We up 8-10, we just couldn't push the lead up, and we were trying, but you gotta give them credit for coming out and playing with intensity at home.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks.
Yeah, Rockets were up 100-86. Think about that. So we got a 28-12 run to close out regulation for the Sacramento Kings. Tied it, sent it to overtime, and there's your final score. Back with more. It's post game presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.